We've spent thousands of dollars so we could do this.
Ready, John?
We got off to a bad start. The whole project got off to a bad start that day because we got stuck. I still to this day have no idea how they got it in there.
When it was trying to come out, it wouldn't turn the corner. We couldn't get it around the corner to get it out into the studio and eventually to the truck. Mm-hmm. So when we got into the corner, we were stuck there for 2 hours. And they said, well, how'd they get it in here? How'd they get it in here? The guy couldn't figure out how they moved it in.
I don't see you getting out of here like this. I really don't. I don't see you getting out of here.
You're gonna make it.
I got an inch. What do you got?
We were there a good 4.5 hours. So we had the console on and off the dolly at least a half a dozen times, repositioning it. It just wasn't a good day, period.
I'm speechless. Pull it out. Dude, you should have been here. Shut the door! We're having fun now. That's where we're going.
We must have looked at least 10 buildings. All different types.
There's a meat market, a nightclub,
Funeral home, church, the garage.
Oh, the garage.
And a museum. The museum. In a roundabout way, the museum is the reason we're 24 track today. Call it at that.
How is that?
Yeah, how's that?
Because we were supposed to get the museum for next to nothing. And with that in mind, we went out and made the purchase of all the 24 track equipment to find that we weren't getting the museum for next to nothing and found ourselves double in debt.
Forgot about that.
So it was sort of a roundabout way of saying, hey guys, go with the big boys.
We came to this building, we said, let's try Chester. And saw this building that day. There was no for sale sign on it. We went down towards the river and found another building that had a sale sign on. We said, let's go home, call the guy up and have a look. And he said, that building is sold, but I have another building for you. And this was the one that we had spotted that we got. And
It's one of those places you say, gee, that's the place we should be in. That would be great.
and we bought it the next day.
If you ask my parents, did they have any horror when they walked in this place? They were close to passing out that day because they thought we both lost our minds. But we saw what we could do with the space. The optimist here, though, felt he could have it all cleared out in 3 days, which he did, but I thought he was crazy. But there was a lot of stuff to move, but it didn't look like it was impossible.
Well, we had 63,000 pounds of heavy metal, which consisted of linotype machines, printing presses, stuff that I had no idea. I didn't even know what it was. Everything was heavy.
Heavy machinery.
Just heavy, big machinery everywhere. Cast iron, steel, just everywhere. tons and tons of
his old machine. We don't even know what they were. They were gigantic machines that weighed.
They were bigger than this console.
Where did you begin to start clearing out? I mean, where did you begin the whole process? What did you do?
We had a drink.
We're off to a bang.
I hope that's not a sign.
We began with a very good friend of mine, Duke, and his partner.
Doc and Duke.
Doc and Duke. We were lucky enough that they were unemployed in the month of February because they work in heavy construction, and
the ground was frozen, frankly.
And we got into demolition real quick.
Duke brought his bulldozer.
We got a forklift.
We were lucky enough, a friend of Duke's wanted some of our machinery that we had here, so we said, all right, take the machinery, but leave us your forklift for a few days. So we had his forklift, Doc ran the forklift, and they just slowly took all the stuff, moved it to the loading dock. Duke would scoop it up with the bulldozer and take it out to a dumpster in the back. And this was a process for 3 days. They just kept taking all this big stuff. Then they had all the really long printing presses that they had to cut with a torch. And the camera upstairs they had to torch apart. And all those pieces had to come down and wound up in dumpsters.
Try to pick it up with rock and get all the way underneath. I'll put a chain on this side.
Bulk was gone in 3 days. We got very, very lucky because I could still be staring at it today.
Well, Reconstruction, I was basically your sweep man. I swept, and I swept, carried a few things, dumped a few things, swept, and shoveled quite a bit.
I'm so glad we had this time together. Always making me do this shit. Everybody else gets to ride around in some cart, pick up something, ride around. I gotta pick up this shit.
Bert, you keeping this? For the aquarium. You know, we have a little TV for you out there.
I found Allen wrenches over there.
Great, don't keep the rusty one, that's gross.
Well,
We'll probably have that size anyway.
okay, but I found these Allen wrenches over there.
Thank you. Starting, why don't you start putting them in your shop?
Where's my shop?
You haven't seen your room yet? Come here.
The maintenance shop that we thought was going to be my maintenance shop has been a storeroom for things needing half-lives or things that have half-lives and some sort of atomic decay.
Jason, this is your new home. Watch that metal on the floor. That's a well below you.
What kind of well? Artesian or a Greek?
I don't know. Lithuanian. This
Well.
shit in here.
Well, look, I've got gears. transmission. No, we're afraid we had to total the car. This is going to be the control for the 24 track. We have motor speed here and how fast. You know, some people like to vary speed their motors, their sound, their music. And then this, of course, is the heart of the 24 track. This spins, and a belt. This belt, no, it's not this belt. A belt slips around here and runs the motor. The Swedes came up with that invention. Now this over here, this is from the mixer. It blew out at 1,800 RPMs, and got to put it back together. These, of course, are drills. This is for drilling the holes inside records. This is a 45 hole. This is one of the lesser-known 75 3/4 speeds that was only briefly used in I think, the 1968 World's Fair I think it was Montreal. These, don't know what that is. This is a display case for tools that you don't want people to touch. And it's obviously somebody's touched it. And this is a low-pass filter. Sound goes in here, and then anything that you don't want to get, any sound you don't want to come out, gets caught in this, can't really open it up. But it's a low-pass filter. The 6356 1-3 is the high-pass filter. This is one of the first compact disc players, by the way. This was invented by the Philips Corporation, and Sony showed them how to make things small. Boy, were the Philips people really happy about that. Next. Well, I'm still in school, so I guess no, because I don't have any training. Other than, this is a plug, this is a bulb, this is the hot end of the soldering iron. I can't plug it in! I can't sleep! What am I to do? Bert? Okay, thanks.
Listen, it's
Oh, G flat.
an Asian minor. Tell me what you think.
Oh, shit.
Okay, thanks. It's for the bass guitar. A big fucking bass guitar. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Hit it again. Go ahead. A little more.
Pay for this door. Pay for it. I know the owner. Get out of my locker.
What are you doing? What's the nail for? You.
Leave my nail alone. Critical nail. Very important for 4 o'clock a.m.
That is a critical nail, do not touch. You'll find out how critical it is.
Well, we completed
The big stuff.
The big stuff.
The big stuff was out in 3 days.
We stayed in demolition for 3 months. That was clearing out electrical, plumbing, gas lines, all that was 3 months.
camera primarily was, yeah, well, all of upstairs was for developing, and that's what the camera was there for. It was just so big, and the negatives were so large, it took up the whole center of the building. It was, 17 feet long. It had to weigh, 2 tons?
It was higher than, it was 6 or 7 feet tall. Oh, had to be 4 or 5 tons. But then we realized that the doors, if you see the outside of the building, the doors that sit in the center of the building on the second floor were put in purposefully so they could load the camera in through those doors in pieces, and they welded it in place. So our only way to get it out was to reverse the process and cut it up.
Duke and Doc spent at least a day and a half just torching the main rollers. The bulldozer was used to lift the equipment from the warehouse to the dumpsters. The bulldozer took it and laid it in a dumpster, and they tried to pack these 30-yard, 30-yard dumpsters? 30-yard dumpsters. They would just pack all this stuff in there. And then when it was full, we'd call the guy and say, "It's full, bring us another one." It was exciting to see we had the first load out, especially since that was early, wasn't it? It was like 11 o'clock that morning.
Yeah, by 11 we had one full.
I think we started, at 7?
Okay.
The only reason we started early was because Duke said we had to.
Well, back in one of the rooms in the back of the warehouse, they had a very interesting way of cooling the place back in 1930. They dug a well, which I guess drew water from a spring. I don't know where it drew water from, actually. It must have drawn water from a spring. And the water would go into a holding with this big, huge pump. The pump must have been 6 or 7 feet, at least 6 feet tall. It pumped water into what was like a hot tub in the ceiling. Just a wooden tub that swelled and held this water. And then when they wanted to cool the place, the water was passed over these huge blowers in the warehouse. So anyway, we found this big hole that was the size of a room.
Yeah, I think we can utilize that. What? This? Yeah, we fill it with junk we don't want to get rid of.
Hey, Duke! That's fucking great! All that fucking wood!
See you later.
And we turned it into a built-in dumpster that we got rid of.
It was his favorite place in the world to be.
Whenever they couldn't find me, I was in the hole because I packed it. I mean, there's no air down there anymore. I just packed it.
He did.
I used to throw stuff down and crawl in there and arrange it and just packed it. I had my remote control car, which lasted all of an hour before I ran it into a...
You have to imagine this. Now, this warehouse is, 100 by 100 feet. Wide open by this point. And there's one block of wood in the middle of all this space.
And I hit it.
And he hits it.
At full force and blew my car apart.
It went... Zzz, and he went, "I don't have control anymore." And it went... Zzz, boom! Exploded.
So I said goodbye to $400. Flash. This is your studio. Well, partially.
No, it's mine.
Oh.
Bert won't work up here again.
Hi.
Control room 2. It's done. We gotta back up and do the right one.
I am wet.
Hey, look it.
I am just.
I'm
wet.
keyed. I'm
I
wired.
don't know where you're getting it, because I just am fried.
I am. I'm wired. Like, let's do a tune, man. Monkey Love Light!
Do you have any knowledge of how many tons of lumber or how much lumber you ordered?
We could have built a small townhouse community.
With pool.
I mean, between the sheetrock and insulation we've bought and lumber, yes, we could have. Construction gets difficult because your initial construction is to isolate the inside of the room from the outside world. So you have a massive structure you have to erect for that isolation. And the only way you isolate the inside from the outside is weight. You need everything to stick and heavy and a lot of insulation.
All the walls have to be double walls, and the ceiling has 4 layers in it, things like that.
Then
the floor has to be floating.
Your second phase of construction is to make the inside of the room sound right. So now you have a whole new set of acoustics happening on the inside. You've isolated the outside from the inside with a lot of insulation. Now you start all over again and work on the inside of the room to make the acoustics right. So I should have bought stock in Owens Corning before we started. The weight of the block walls had to sit directly on the foundation of the building. This whole warehouse has a wooden floor about that thick on it, and it would have crushed soft pine, so we had to go down.
We would have built it and it would have sank down into the floor, so it had to be cut.
So we had to cut this floor.
There's so much oil in the floor from all the heavy machinery over 50 years that they put this on for the first time and it just burned all the oil.
It was just inch by inch, but you could only like cut a ½ inch, then you go down another ½ inch, then go down each section. God, I thought I was for weeks just cutting floor sections out.
This here is it.
Joe, you gotta give it.
I ain't picking up another cinder block
Ever.
forever. After that is the last block
do it.
of the project. Yeah, here we go. Ain't even got a bottle of champagne.
Let's hope it.
We got 3 bottles of champagne. You still have one out here?
Ain't cold.
Yeah!
it.
Are y'all really opening in 6 days? Are you really? We're opening in 6 days. How do you feel? I'll have to edit that.
Sending it all back.
What are you sending back?
Everything. The equipment, the loans, the paint, the wood.
No, not the wood.
Chris, this place has a whole Christmas vibe.
I know.
to
I
it.
mean, but look. Blue light and the green and the red. It's pretty.
Where to the Christmas party?
Yeah.
Come on, DMD.
Piece of cheese. You didn't film this.
Yeah, you know, we're gonna start filming everybody so that when you're rich and famous and like you're on BET with your cool video, we can say, yeah, this is footage where she was eating like a pig.
How did you feel going into your first shakedown session?
We were glad it was with Donald Robinson. We were glad that he was like the first one to bring his stuff in because we work together and we're all comfortable with each other. But you never can relax till you know that the first thing has gone on tape and plays back well.
Yeah, at that point, we had never recorded anything to tape and played it back.
We had a hunch it would work. We never tested it.
Come on,
This is it! This is it!
See, our first session was booked 24th of September. Since Donald was 2.5 hours late, we're not going in to record till the 25th of September.
There you go.
Ready? Yeah, go ahead.
All the way from Arizona. Susie,
Alright, Michael, over here.
That's what I want.
Turn it up. Can't get it in time. Wait. Turn it up.
That's okay.
When this gets to 5, turn it up. Do it. 4. Hit! Well, it's never going to be
finished. I know that. But yes, I can't wait to do it again. Much to the dismay of my parents, probably.
What he's going to do is he's going to open Sound Spa South, SSS, right? That's pretty good. In the Cayman Islands, okay? And he's going to, oh, that's good. He's going to open up Spa South. Wait, shut up. He's going to open up Spa South down in Grand Cayman, and he's going to continually call me while I'm in Chester and say, hey, how is it up there? You know, how you doing? What's going on?
I am very happy with with what we've gotten, beyond my wildest dreams and expectations. But it was a learning experience that I look forward to tackling again and again.
Sounds